Hi, I'm Yogi Naik, Group Product Manager at Microsoft. My team is responsible for building the next wave of AI tools, some of which we will showcase today. With me, I have the awesome John. John, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Yogi. My name's John Cartwright. I'm a Senior Product Manager here at Microsoft. I'm really excited to be bringing the unification of tools to life within Microsoft Copilot Studio and share some of that with you today.
All right, so today we have 4 key topics to cover. We will provide an overview of Microsoft Copilot Studio. We will introduce you to the exciting world of tools within Copilot Studio. We will do a live demo of these AI tools in action. And finally, we will talk about some key takeaways. So whether you are new to Copilot Studio or an existing user, the learning from this session will help you build an agent and extend it via world-class AI tools to drive significant business value. Copilot is the organizing layer for humans to interact with all these agents. It's the UI for AI. When you have several different AI UIs, you need a single place to interface. Just like mobile and apps, Copilot and agents operate together. And every IT department will have a control system to manage, secure, and measure impact. You're always in control, not just working with AI, but having AI work on your behalf. Copilot Studio provides the tools and capabilities needed to build, customize, and deploy these agents, making it a valuable resource for developers and business alike. So now, let's discuss how we can extend Copilot for enterprise data using knowledge and actions in the next slide. This is a crucial aspect of enhancing the capabilities of your agents. Actions, let's talk about actions first. They enable your agent to perform tasks on your behalf, such as this could be like real-time data lookups, executing changes and updates to your internal and external systems. The second vector is knowledge, which allows your agents to provide richer, more contextual responses. By leveraging enterprise data, agents can reason over a broader set of information, delivering more accurate and relevant answers.
Thanks, Yogi.
Yeah.
So historically, to add an action to an agent, makers could either do this through the Add Action page from within the context of an agent, or through the Library page. These 2 pages offer a similar but slightly different set of functionalities to extend an agent with. As we can see on the right-hand side, within Library, there's a wide variety of options to choose from, ranging all the way from declarative agents to individual connector types. This lack of consistency we found to be confusing for makers, as they were unsure of which route they should use to extend their agent. Now, given the current state, we've identified some key opportunities for improving this experience. First, we want to have a consistent agent extension look and feel, regardless of entry point. Secondly, we want to have a set of tools that are flexible to every unique business need and workflow. We understand that each business and maker has unique needs, and that our tools are not one size fits all. We strive to offer a diverse set of functionalities that can meet the maker where they are, and also allow them to achieve more. Next, we want to enable direct publishing to our makers' agents to streamline the tool creation process. This will allow makers to start getting value from their agents as soon as possible. And lastly, makers should have a single place to create tools and view them, not just at an agent level, but at an environment level. This is very powerful when we look to the future, where makers will be building not just 1 or 2 agents, but many agents that are interconnected and share some common tools.
All right, so with that, today we are announcing public preview of tools in Copilot Studio. Tools is one-stop shop for best-in-class features which enable extensibility for your agents, including seamless integration with internal and external systems, resulting in significantly improving task quality and speed and generating substantial business value.
So let's explore what defines a tool. First and foremost, a tool must enable an agent to do something in an external system. Unlike simply reading data from an external source, A tool must be able to facilitate actions such as updating or creating information on a third-party system. This ability to enact change is fundamental to the characteristics of a tool. Secondly, a tool should be versatile enough to be used across multiple agents. One of the key advantages of the Tools page is that it allows makers to view these capabilities at an environment level, promoting the reuse of tools where possible. And lastly, tools must be easy to create and integrate into an agent. Our goal is to ensure that makers can easily add tools to their agent, and we will be demonstrating 3 types of these tools later on to showcase this experience. So now let's discuss what our initial set of tools will be. When a maker navigates to a Tools page within MCS and selects the Create New Tool button, they'll be presented with the following 6 tool types. And don't worry, we'll dive into each one of these tool types in subsequent slides. But just a high-level overview, first off, we have prompts. Now, prompts enable makers to create their own unique AI capabilities to build intelligent agents, flows, and apps. Next, we have agent flows. These allow makers to automate sets of business-specific tasks. Custom connectors and REST APIs come next, providing makers with the ability to connect to third-party systems that aren't available as pre-built connectors. The computer use tool allows agents to browse the web and utilize reasoning capabilities to perform actions within a web browser. And lastly, Model Context Protocol allows users to connect with existing knowledge servers and data sources directly within Microsoft Copilot Studio. So jumping down into REST APIs, these empower makers to swiftly connect to services that aren't available as pre-built connectors. If a maker has a Swagger file, they can easily upload it and follow a guided experience to create a REST API tool that can then be integrated into their agent. This entire creation process takes place within the context of MCS, and we will be showcasing this experience shortly in the demo.
All right, so let's look at Prompt Builder now. Prompt Builder enables you to define prompts using natural language, making it intuitive and user-friendly. You can specify input data such as text, documents, or images, and clearly outline the expected output. This approach simplifies the process of creating high-quality prompts aligned with your intent. The new user experience in Copilot Studio makes it easy for you to get started with creating your prompt via Draft with Copilot, and we'll look at this in the demo coming shortly. The new user experience organizes all inputs such as data and models on the left side, while all output-related elements like output type are displayed on the right side after testing. Prompts are now generally available, works with data, and has prompt library with pre-built prompts.
So next up, we'll talk a little bit about agent flows. And these are now conveniently accessible within the left navigation menu within MCS. Now, when creating a flow, makers will initially land in the Designer tab to create and edit their flow. Additionally, they'll have access to the Overview tab to review flow details or test them, as well as the Activity and Analytics tabs to monitor how their flows are being executed. Newly created agent flows are pre-configured by default to work seamlessly with agents. Upon creation, makers will start with a flow template that begins with an agent trigger and concludes with a response back to the agent. This updated experience ensures that makers can effectively build and manage their agent flows with ease. And next up, we'll talk about custom connectors. While the Microsoft Power Platform connector ecosystem enables MCS to connect to over 1,000 pre-built connectors, we understand that many businesses need to communicate with services that aren't available in this existing catalog. A custom connector acts as a wrapper around a REST API, allowing Logic Apps, Power Automate, Power Apps, or Copilot Studio to interact seamlessly with REST or SOAP APIs. These APIs can either be public, accessible on the internet, or private, visible only to your network. This flexibility ensures that makers can integrate with virtually any service into their workflow, enhancing their automation and connectivity capabilities.
All right, and finally, the computer use tool empowers agents to utilize a web browser to perform various tasks for the maker. This could be tasks like filling out forms, searching for information online, or even booking reservations. This process begins with a natural language input for the maker, providing clear instructions on the desired task. This tool employs a blend of image recognition and reasoning to navigate the web and accomplish the task as instructed. Additionally, makers can observe the agent's reasoning and thought process at each step, along with a real-time view of the web browsing session. This transparency ensures that makers are always informed about the actions and decisions, ultimately enhancing trust and saving time. So, in our demo today, we will have a scenario. We have a persona called Taylor. She is an HR specialist at Contoso. Her goal is to create a best-in-class onboarding experience for her new hires. Today, Taylor relies on multiple systems and functions within Contoso to track new hire information. This information could be things like looking for candidate names, their start dates, departments they work for, their job titles, and many more. Then she looks up for the equipments to order for these new hires and she places an order for them, for which she again utilizes multiple systems and resources. By the way, due to the nature of her role, she's also expected to address queries from new hires about Contoso benefit policies, etc., which keep changing quite a bit, causing churn for Taylor. All right, now that you're familiar with the tools in Copilot Studio, let's see how these tools come together to help Taylor generate business value for her as well as for Contoso. So, welcome Copilot Studio. Now Taylor can save days worth of work by creating an agent and extending it to solve her tasks in a matter of minutes with highest quality. To start, Taylor goes to Copilot Studio and creates a new agent. Her first step in creating a new agent is to configure it by giving a name and description, which she's doing that right now, providing a description as required. She named her agent as onboarding agent, and her description is about assisting the HR applicant with the onboarding new hire process. Once she has the name and the description in there, the agent gets created. She hits continue, and in a matter of seconds, we have the agent ready for use using some of the world-class tools. There it is.
All right, and now that this agent has been created, Taylor wants to navigate to the tools page to extend the capabilities of her new onboarding agent. So first, she'll create a REST API so her onboarding agent can access her company's HR system. After selecting the REST API option from the tools menu, she then drags and drops to upload her Swagger file for the HR system API. This API will allow her to get the new hire start date and other information. She'll drag and drop the Swagger file, and after it's uploaded, it will pre-fill most of the details needed from Taylor. So we can see that the name as well as the description has already been pre-filled. And now when she clicks next, she sees the option to define the authentication type. She knows that she has to enter in an API key to connect to this data source. So she'll just enter in the API key details here. Next, she sees the operation that this API is calling to get a list of the new hire employees. She sees a pre-filled action name and adds in a description. She also adds an output description, then clicks next. And that's it. Now her REST API tool is being published. After the tool is published, she'll be able to see it on the tools page and add it to her new agent. First, she'll select into the new tool, and then she'll click on the Add button. Next, select her agent that she wants to add it to, and after selecting the agent, she's now navigated over to the specific agent where she'll simply select the tool, and then select the operation mentioned earlier. And as discussed, connecting to this HR system does require an API key. So at this point, she's going to copy and paste her API key in here, so that way she can connect to that HR system. Now that it has been added to her onboarding agent, she'll do one last step before testing it out in the agent chat. She'll go into the overview of this tool, and she'll go into advanced settings and set the authentication to Copilot author authentication. Essentially what this will do is it will allow her to use her author credentials whenever she's invoking this action. This means that she won't have to enter in her API key whenever she starts a new chat with the agent. So we'll test it out by asking the agent what are the names, start dates, job titles, and departments of the 5 new hires. We can see that the agent is able to access her company's HR system and respond with the 5 new hires with their information about their start dates, job titles, and departments.
All right, that was exciting, John. Now Taylor wants to understand and summarize company policies which are stored in multiple systems to share with her new hires. To do so, she leverages Prompt Builder to create pre-built custom prompts that references data stored in Dataverse to help and answer any questions around Contoso's vacation policy. By the way, Taylor is not super familiar with the Prompt Builder. Instead of starting with her own prompt, she leverages our new feature called Draft with Copilot, where she simply provides her intent about summarizing the company vacation policy details stored within Dataverse. In just a blink, she now has a detailed prompt. She validates the information in the prompt and specifies where in Dataverse the vacation data is stored. So it's being stored in a table called vacation table. Within this table, there are 3 main columns. First is vacation bands. At Contoso, there are different bands of vacation where all employees are eligible. And eligibility is determined by how many years of service at the company. The second column she wants to add is years at the company. And finally, the third column, which is about number of vacation days. Once that's added, she now tests her prompt. All right, we have a response now, which looks good. We have all the bands listed as expected, as well as the number of days of vacation and years of service. Taylor can now enter a custom name for the vacation policy. She names it as Vacation Policy Overview prompt. Note that the default model here is GPT-4o Mini. At Build, we are also announcing a new feature called Bring Your Own Model in public preview. This feature provides users with access to 1,800 plus models from Azure AI Foundry, which users can deploy those in Azure and connect seamlessly in Copilot Studio. Here, Taylor connects or chooses GPT 4.5 by providing the right set of inputs, such as the model name, description, API key for the GPT 4.5 model, and says connect. All right, she now has the connection established and GPT 4.5 shows up there. So Taylor now chooses 4.5 to generate a response. She actually likes the response created by GPT 4.5 and saves the prompt. Taylor now updates the description of the prompt so the employees at her organization know when to use it and what's the purpose of that prompt. By the way, she also has an option to connect the prompt to an agent, and a custom prompt can be used across multiple agents. So she chooses the onboarding agent as her connection.
Thanks, Yogi. And lastly, Taylor wants to add one more tool to her agent to help assist her in ordering new equipment for the new hires via Freshdesk tickets. So to do this, she decides to create an agent flow to help streamline this repetitive tasks. After selecting agent flow, she notices that it is already set up to be triggered and responded to by an agent. Since she knows Freshdesk tickets for requesting new information need some information specific to each employee, she adds 2 parameters to the start of her flow. She'll add one parameter for candidate name and a second parameter for candidate start date. Next, she'll insert a new action into her flow and search for the Freshdesk connector. She'll then select the Create a Ticket and enter in the appropriate details to create a new connection. First, she will enter in the connection name, then the URL, and lastly, she'll enter in the API key. After creating the connection, she then sees what are the required fields to create the ticket. Starting with the subject, she enters in the equipment request name, followed by the employee name that she saved as a parameter at the start of the flow. Similarly, for the description, she'll enter in a standard description for a new laptop request and enter in both the parameter for the candidate name and the candidate start date to give IT a better understanding of when this new laptop is needed and who it will be assigned to. For email, she'll select her own email as the ticket submitter and set the priority to medium. And that's it. So next, she'll save this flow as a draft. And then after this flow is saved, she'll head over to the Overview tab to give this flow an updated name and description. To do this, she'll edit the details to give it a more descriptive name, and she'll also add a description for this flow. Now, after that's saved, she'll go back to the Designer tab and publish this flow. Now that the agent flow is ready to use, so when she navigates back to the Tools page, she can see that this agent flow has been added to her list of tools. From the Tools page, she'll be able to add it directly to her onboarding agent. After selecting the Add button, she'll then see a list of agents in her environment. She'll select her onboarding agent and then click Add. Now, once this agent loads, she'll select the flow and add it to her agent. All right, so now that we have all 3 of these tools added to our agent, let's test it out in an end-to-end scenario. Taylor knows that some of the new hires starting soon, but she also needs to order equipment for these new hires, but she's not quite sure which ones specifically will be starting when. To find out this information, she asks her agent the name and start date of the soonest new hire. She sees in the activity map that the agent is calling her HR system to get a list of new hires, and sees in the agent response that Jane Doe is the new hire that's going to start next. She then asks her onboarding agent to order a laptop for Jane. Taylor sees that this agent flow is correctly selected, and she's getting prompted to enter in the 2 parameters that she set for this agent flow. The first one is the candidate's name, Jane Doe, then followed by entering in the candidate's start date. Now, before I hit enter for the start date and complete the required information for the flow, I'll open up Freshdesk and we can see that right now there's just 3 orders. But as soon as I hit enter on this last order, we can see that there's a new ticket added. And when we update Freshdesk, we can see that there's a new laptop order for Jane Doe, and in the details, we'll see that her start date has been appropriately set. And last but not least, Taylor also gets many questions about company policy on a wide range of topics. One question that she's received a lot from new employees is regarding Contoso's vacation policy. Now, to help her quickly and accurately answer this question, Taylor now asks her agent to provide a summary of Contoso's vacation policy. Now, instead of searching through Contoso's Dataverse tables, she's now able to leverage her prompt tool to provide an overview of Contoso's vacation policy that she can then share with new employees and other new hires who might have similar questions. We can see that through the power of these 3 tools, Taylor was able to quickly perform her key responsibilities and stay focused on providing the best onboarding experience possible. And by the way, Yogi, Taylor's getting this question a lot about vacation policies, and her manager asked her to create a visualization for her new hire presentation next week. Do we have anything that could help her with this?
Oh yeah, John. We are actually introducing a new feature called the Code Interpreter in Copilot Studio. Using this feature, Taylor can generate charts and perform complex computations simply by providing a natural language text. This is executed by using Python code in the backend. So actually, I can show that in the demo and help Taylor right away.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
At this point, Taylor simply has to go to her onboarding agent and she needs to provide a query. In this case, she provides a query for the agent to generate a chart based on the vacation policy. This extracts information from her internal or external systems. In this case, the vacation policy for Taylor is stored in the Dataverse. So once the query has been entered, she hits enter, and there's a Python code that executes in the backend to generate the chart that she's looking for around vacation policies over the course of the years. And you can also see the Python code as needed. At this time, Taylor has what she needs, a high quality output, which is in the chart. She uses this chart for her next upcoming new hire onboarding session and this happens in just a matter of seconds. So Taylor is good to go at this point. All right, so that was super exciting, John. Let's see what we learned today. What we saw today is basically, in this scenario, Taylor using the world-class AI tools. First, she uses prompt to summarize company policy. Second, she then uses REST API to connect to internal HR systems. Taylor also uses Flow to place orders for the new hire. And as a bonus, in the end, Taylor leverages Code Interpreter to analyze employee benefits and address the new hire queries.
And we're thrilled to showcase the incredible power of tools within agents, providing makers with a dynamic platform to supercharge their agents' capabilities. Although we only highlighted a few tool types, you've witnessed the vast array of tools available to streamline, enhance, and automate various business scenarios. These tools can be effortlessly created and integrated into your custom agents, making it easier than ever to drive efficiency and innovation. Moreover, tools are the cornerstone for enabling agents to drive impactful change. This will be crucial as makers begin to build and manage multiple interconnected agents that share common tools, paving the way for a new era of collaboration and intelligent automation. We hope you can take these learnings back to your existing agents and also explore some of these new tools as you create new agents in Microsoft Copilot Studio. And that's it. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you very much.